Hi guys. Today we are going to talk about a resource found on your Launchpad called DISCUS. Now maybe you have heard of DISCUS or maybe you have actually used it. It's kind of like a virtual library, a database of databases that has something on just about everything. The information is very concise, it's very authoritative, and it is especially made for you. But before we do that, how do we typically do research? We typically, let's open another window here. We typically go to Google, and I'm going to pretend I am a sixth grader doing a project on sharks. That's my animal. We typically type in sharks, just like that. And you may get something like this that shows up. Now, most of us like to click on the first thing that we see. It's only natural. But the first thing I see says official San Jose Sharks website, nhl.com. Something tells me that's not what I'm looking for. I'm trying to find out about sharks' adaptations, their biomes, all sorts of things like that. I could scroll, okay, Wikipedia, that would certainly tell me something, right? Okay, it does, but look at all of this information. Look at all those blue words. This would take me hours and hours to go through. And there's probably 20 pages or so. And you know what? The thing about Wikipedia, it's a hit or miss thing. It's not necessarily bad to use, but sometimes the information has not been fact checked. You may not get the right information. It may tell you a bunch of things you don't need to know, and you just spend your time digging and digging and digging. That's why I don't necessarily recommend it as a first choice. Now, sometimes we need pictures. We go to Google, we type in sharks, and I've already done that. Look at all these pictures of all these beautiful sharks. I could probably use one for my research. But the problem is all of these beautiful images belong to someone else, and technically you cannot use them unless you contact the photographer, okay? But there is a better way, and that better way is DISCUS. So let's go back here and let's click on DISCUS. I want you to notice what it looks like. Now this looks very different from Google. I want you to click on A to Z list. We're going to focus on Britannica School. There's lots here, but we're just going to focus on that one. We're going to go into it. And this is what I get. This is my landing page. You can search your learning. You can do elementary, middle, or high. We're just going to do middle today. This is my interface. It's very neat. It's very clean. It's very simple. My search box is right here. I'm going to type in shark. See what I get. Okay, this is what I have here. Even goes into some specific types of sharks. Now notice how this information is so much easier to see. I don't have ads flashing at me. I don't have things popping up at me. I'm not trying to eat at a restaurant. I'm not trying to buy anything. I just have information. I'm going to click on the first heading because that's what we like to do. Okay. Let's click on reading level 1 just to make the information easier to see. And of course you can do that. Notice how my information is organized. I have a heading here that says introduction. I have a block of text right here. I have some words in blue that will give me a definition. If I click on them, I have some really cool pictures. I have a video here that's 3 minutes long. The next heading says where sharks live. I could read this paragraph. I could watch this video. Physical features, and so forth and so on. So you can see the information is very well organized. It's very easy to read. Now, sometimes we are looking for specific things. For example, you may have to find a shark's biome. Now, chances are you're not going to find a sentence in here that says a shark lives in this biome. You're not going to see a shark has these adaptations. You're going to have to kind of figure that out on your own based on what you've learned in the classroom. But what we can do is, let's see, I know biomes have something to do with a habitat, so might the information be here under where sharks live? Physical features, that talks about fins and gills. Would that have something to do with adaptations? Maybe. So you've got to read what's here, and you have to cross-reference it with what you've learned in class. Okay, something really interesting and cool about this. Let's say you don't feel like actually reading. You don't want to stare at the screen. You've had a long day. You can click the Listen button.
Introduction. Sharks are
And
fast-swimming
someone
fishes that have a
reads it
skeleton.
aloud to you. Now, you don't necessarily get that in Google. You don't get that in a lot of places. Let's say that you know you want to use this article, but you don't want to have to come back into DISCUS. What can you do? Well, if you click on this button with an arrow, it says Send To. You have the option to add this to your Google Drive. If you click on it, I'm going to click on it, it will take you to your Google Drive, and there is the article. So you always have the article, and from there you can print it out. Look at the pictures here. You can download any of these pictures. The photographers have given you rights to use them for your project. There is a button here that says Translate. Maybe you speak another language other than English. So you would click on it, and it would translate it. Now, probably the best thing about DISCUS is that, well, let me just say this. As you get older, you're going to have to cite your resources. You're going to have to say where you got it from. You follow a little format. You have to do, I think, the author's name, the title, the source, the publisher. And sometimes that can be hard to get all that information together and get it in that neat little box. If you go right here, click Cite. Notice this box right here. It is already done for you. So all you have to do is highlight that, copy it, and paste it into your document. That is the one time it's okay to copy and paste. So that's just an overview of how DISCUS Britannica School works. And of course, you don't have just animals. You could do people. I'm going to do Martin Luther King Jr. And you have the same thing here. You click on this, so forth and so on. So that is an easy way to use DISCUS for research. Now in our next video, I'm going to show you how to use DISCUS to make a claim, how to show two sides of an argument. So stay tuned for that video.